That and that. That and oh. So sports talk?
Yeah. Let's go.
You gotta like this part. I like that part right there.
Yeah, matter of fact, I gotta work.
That's the best part. That means you got the swag back.
Yeah.
Mm,
It's the remix.
You can't do this show.
Still waiting for you to get that high note.
Swag back.
He's still waiting for that high note.
Man, what's up? Welcome to the 96th episode of XO Sports Talk. We're coming to you here live on a Wednesday night. Listen, we're doing it big. We're coming to you live from Connecticut, everybody. I got the whole crew, but we're missing Malcolm tonight. Malcolm, we're saying what's up to you, brother. Wherever you at, man.
What's up, Malcolm?
Talk to us real quick, Malcolm. We miss you, brother, and we love you, man, because you're a part of XO Sports Talk. But we getting ready to get it popping. Let's go, fellas. Let's go.
Your energy level was down.
Wait, I got my coffee right here. You got to see what's in this cup right here.
I don't want to see what's in your cup. You can drink it.
You see that label
Cheers.
right
Yeah,
Yeah, you can drink it. I don't know if you'll pass the drug test tomorrow at work.
yeah.
But
I can't tell you what's in this cup.
We might not want to know what's in that
Yeah.
cup.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
Just say it's supplements, man. Say you got some supplements
there
in
you
there.
go.
Yeah.
Some supplements, Terry. That's what
Terry, stop letting him off the hook.
yeah. As a matter of fact, hey Aaron,
Sir.
your impressions, yes, I said it was pretty hilarious. They asked, could you do an Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Let me
Oh,
tell
wow.
you, Ryan, I've been working on Arnold since I was a little boy. I was watching his show the other day and I said, I'm a real good actor. Not that many people. How come I don't have an Oscar? Give me the Oscar. Or I'll take my sword from Conan the Barbarian and I'll chop your head off. So give me the sword and give me the Oscar.
Pretty good.
Pretty good, man. Pretty good.
Not bad.
Let's see if you get any more requests. Oh, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
His net processor is a 3.1 gigawatt.
Nah, that Al Pacino's a tough one.
Nah, you can do it.
The guy that I found that was interesting one day, Rich Little. That was a guy that would do voices, and he was talking about sometimes you have to do certain voices through your nose. Certain times it has to come within your stomach to get the air to do it. And I found it fascinating that he could do so many different voices, and he was really truly a pioneer of doing voices back in the day.
Yeah.
Rich Little.
Well,
Okay.
Mel Blanc is probably the best. What's up, Doc? He did Bugs Bunny for years. What's up, Doc?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, Doc?
Give congratulations to Al Pacino, who's 83 and is expecting his fourth kid is on the way.
Oh,
wow, Al. What you
Yeah.
taking, Al?
Yeah.
But stop me if I'm wrong, Terry. Isn't Robert De Niro girlfriend is going to have a baby
Yeah.
too?
Yeah, I did
Yeah, I
see
think
that.
he's expecting his 7th child, I
Yeah,
believe.
man, those supplements.
Mm.
Those good supplements. They got the good supplements.
So you saying they ain't got turmeric? You saying it's something a little better, a little stronger, a little
They got a
more
turmeric.
stronger?
More supplements. I think they got the peaches down in Georgia. I got my peaches down in Georgia.
That's something.
The peaches and cream. Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There's a voice I can do to this, and I will not do it.
Come on,
Come on, man, let it go, let it fly,
on,
man, let it
man.
fly.
Go.
Taking requests, man. Take the
Let's
requests.
see what you got.
This is a battle of the ages. Robert De Niro, 7 kids. Al Pacino, coming up from behind with 5. Who will win this competition? Next on ABC Wild World of Sports.
Pretty good, man. Pretty impressive.
Now.
You got to tell them who that is because some people may not know who that was.
That was Howard Cosell, one of the greatest sports commentator in NFL history on Monday Night Football plus ABC Wild World of Sports. Look it up and take a look, people.
What about the classic line between him and Ali? When he said, "You're the greatest." Not that great. Did he say that?
No, that wasn't him.
Who was that?
Yes, it was.
No, it was
Ali
not.
and Cosell.
You
was
sure?
not.
He said,
Okay.
No?
Here, let me help you out.
Go ahead.
okay.
Ali just beat Sonny Liston.
Yes.
And the guy in the ring said, he asked Ali about it, and he says, Ali says, I'm a bad man and I'm pretty. And the guy goes, you're not that pretty.
Nope.
But it wasn't Cosell.
That's not the one I'm talking about. I'm talking about the one.
Okay, it's not about the one that you're thinking. It's about the one that Brian just brought up. So when you get finished thinking about the one you're thinking, please give me the information. Okay.
So I have that info for you.
Go for it.
It was when Ali and Cosell were having an interview, and Cosell says to him, Ali, some people say you're not what you used to be.
Oh yeah.
That's your
Remember that.
And he
Again,
says,
isn't that something different?
Jesus Christ.
I'll let you go.
You get to the damn punchline. Thanks for the interruption, Gordon.
Anytime.
Party pooper. He's a party pooper.
Salt.
Anyway, folks, what he was saying when he called Ali and said Ali's not what he used to be, Ali said to Cosell, before I was rudely interrupted, he said, Jesus Christ.
He said your wife.
Cosell, I just spoke to your wife last night, and she said you're not what you used to be.
Oh,
man.
I was trying to get there, but I was rudely interrupted.
Yeah, welcome back from Tahiti. Yeah,
yeah, those two had a very interesting relationship between the two.
Yeah, and that you know, they both were like a comedy show that everybody wanted to see Howard Cosell and Muhammad Ali go at it.
Yeah.
Had great respect for one another.
Yeah, we're going to give a shout out to Bethany Graves who jumped in on the chat and she said, "Welcome back, everybody." Yeah, glad to see you too.
Thank you.
Yeah,
been on a little hiatus, but we're back now.
Yeah,
we're back.
And if you watched the beginning of the show, tell us what voiceover Aaron did that you like. Howard Cosell or Arnold Schwarzenegger, yeah.
Maybe you can do Richard Dreyfuss next week.
Oh man, yo, crazy.
I gotta be careful what I want to say. Moving right along, Terry, please tell them about the subscribe button.
XO Sports would like to thank our viewers and listeners and subscribers for their support. If this is your first time checking us out on YouTube, the show is also streaming on all your favorite podcast platforms, Google, Spotify, and iHeart, just to name a few. If you want to stay up to date with our latest videos and the latest news and rumors going on in the world of sports, hit the subscribe button, press the like button, and nudge that notification bell. You can also share our channel with your friends and family by clicking on the share button. That's all she wrote.
Yeah.
Thanks, Terry.
Like Janet Jackson, not control, but share.
Yeah.
Emerson,
Share that.
Indy 500 and the Stanley Cup Finals. please.
Listen, man. Listen. We just come out of the Memorial Day weekend, and it was such a great time on Memorial Day. If you don't know, to all of our car racing fans, listen, we're here. Exo Sports, we're here with you. In the Indy 500, the winners for this year goes to Joseph Newgarden. Joseph Newgarden won the Indy 500 in mad fashion. Listen, and he took home a nice purse too of $3.6 million. Woo, I wish I had that right now. Listen, we want to say big ups to Joseph Newgarden winning the Indy 500 2023. In Charlotte, if you've never been to the Charlotte Raceway, you got to go. It's a hell of a time. It's a great weekend. Fun, food for the whole family. They got games. They got concerts going on. Downtown Charlotte is filled up with all kinds of vendors. It's an amazing time. And for the Coca-Cola 600, this year's winner was Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney won the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte this year. I'm telling you, it was a wonderful weekend for car racing. And we love our car racing here at Exo Sports, and we love our Indy racing at Exo Sports. So big ups to both of those winners this year.
Yes, indeed.
Now, can I jump into it right now?
Congratulations.
Can I jump into it? Let's go.
It's getting hot.
Stanley
Getting hot where?
It's getting hot on the ice. Hot on the ice.
Yeah.
The ice.
Listen, you know what it is. It's the Stanley Cup Finals, guys. Listen, we got the Vegas Golden Knights going against the Florida Panthers. Listen, it's going to be a brawl on the ice, because I'm telling you, the Florida Panthers, they're coming with that physicality that a lot of teams didn't expect them to make it. A lot of people didn't expect them to make it. They were the lowest seed coming into the playoffs. Listen, they had to knock off. This is who the Florida Panthers had to knock off to get to where they are right now. They had to beat the Boston Bruins, who was #1 overall throughout the whole playoffs. Listen, then they had to knock off the Maple Leafs. Then they had to knock off the Carolina Hurricanes. These are some major teams in the NHL, and they was doing it, and they did it in fashion, and they weren't scared. Nobody was talking about them. They kind of remind me of like a team they call the Denver Nuggets, but we'll talk about that when we get to the NBA. But big ups to the Florida Panthers for knocking off all those teams, and now they got to go against the Vegas Golden Knights, another hardcore team, relentless. I call them relentless because they just don't stop. They just keep coming at you. They had to knock off the Winnipeg Jets, the Edmonton Oilers, and in a Game 7, they beat the Dallas Stars. What a hell of a game that was. I'm telling you, it went. They just did what they had to do to win that series, and we're going to say this is going to be another great series here in the Stanley Cup Finals, and the winner's going to take home that Stanley Cup trophy, and I'm putting my money, I'm going with the Florida Panthers. Woo! That's what I'm taking this year.
I'm taking Florida. Vegas.
Hey, he's going with Vegas.
Going with Vegas.
Vegas. Thank you very much.
Hey, wouldn't that be something too if Vegas won that, and then they won the WNBA?
Listen. Listen, those Golden Knights, I'm telling you, they're tough.
Yeah.
They're tough. But I just think the physicality of the Florida Panthers is going to outshine them when it comes down to the wire. So big up to my Florida Panthers. I'm going with them this year. Florida Panthers, poof. Go get them.
I don't see the Raiders winning. Oh, yeah.
No.
The trifecta is out. I don't see that happening, but yeah.
They're also talking about Garoppolo just had foot surgery, and Garoppolo's contract for the Las Vegas Raiders, if he's got an injury, they can rip up the contract. If they think it's a severe injury.
I bet you he'll heal up real quick.
Yes,
he had to get in a hyperbolic chamber or whatever. He'll heal up real quick.
You know,
that's going to dark room where Aaron Rodgers was at. He's staying in the dark for about 2 weeks.
Yeah, they're gonna his agent's gonna say, you know what, we got to get this money. But that would be cool for us to go down to Vegas one day.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do that. Either that,
yeah, man, we got to
or the LA trip and go SoFi Stadium.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Vegas, here we come. Exo Sports.
Put it on the Exo Sports credit card.
And then we'll do our show. We'll do our show down there.
And then we better leave and go to a third world country.
Yeah, my bounce.
Write that off, man.
But we lived it up for the night, folks. XO Sports lived it up.
Yeah, I can see CNN, Wolf Blitzer saying, if you've seen these four guys, because Malcolm would be like, nope, I wasn't on the show. I'm not affiliated with them.
Man, we just write that off. That's a business expense. Travel.
We'll leave you as the accountant and you can cook the books. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We'll cook them, and when they come, I'm just going to point fingers.
We'll be like, we didn't know nothing about it. He's the accountant. Somebody got to take the fall.
I told them not to spend that much, and they just kept spending the money.
Now, you had the Miami Heat beat the Boston Celtics to advance to the NBA championship to play the Denver Nuggets. We talked about the last time about firing, how Doc Rivers got fired and other coaches. But we thought the Miami Heat, nobody had Miami getting past the first round. And we saw how Pat Riley has stayed with this head coach through the good and through the bad. And this guy doesn't get that much recognition as being a good head coach. And what he did for Miami to get Miami to the what's his name? Eric Holstrom?
Spolstra. Yeah.
Close enough. Yeah. What he did, you got to give him kudos.
You got to give him more than that.
And you got to give Pat Riley, because we basically said they didn't have enough offense. Surprise. They played defense. And look where they're at now.
Yeah.
Terry, how do you feel about that?
No knock against the Heat, Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley, but maybe everybody up here tonight, with the exception of you, because I know you preach Miami this whole year. I was surprised. I'm surprised. I won't say shocked, because the shock is gone, but they surprised me. But I guess in reality, you shouldn't be surprised. I mean, Spoelstra is a Pat Riley disciple, and we know what Pat Riley does. You just said it. He gets the best out of players. He did it with the you could say the Lakers had well, they do. They have a Hall of Fame class of players, but he got the most out of what they could do. He squeezed every bit of talent out of those guys when he coached those Lakers teams. And to be honest, he squeezed every bit of talent out of the Knicks players when he coached. So, Spoelstra studied under Riley, and this is what they do. They play good defense. You know, they're going to play hard defense. They're going to play basketball the right way. I have to give, again, I think Jimmy Butler, you call him playoff Jimmy, but to me, he's the most underrated superstar in the league right now. And some people will be hesitant to call him a superstar, but the proof is in the pudding. They're in the finals. What was it? 3 years ago, they were in the finals against the Lakers. So it's just a class organization. You kind of have to put them up there with the Spurs, class act.
Yep. Emerson.
Well, I think I'm going to have to echo with what Terry said. Definitely Pat Riley, who's the genius behind this engine that's been running on full throttle throughout the playoffs. A lot of people had them not making it past the first round. They had to go through some tough teams to get to where they are right now, and they have been able to do that in fashion. and no one was giving them a chance to win that series. Oh, well, they're going to lose the next series. They moved on again, and they would move on again. No one was giving them a chance at any of those playoff series, and they have all they have done was just take all the naysayers and say, now you see that we are an efficient team and we can play with the best of them. Jimmy Butler, he's a phenomenal player. We knew that. We were looking to see for Jimmy, maybe he saved some of that energy for the playoffs because we saw sporadic play with him throughout this season. We saw sometimes Jimmy was not available for games, but when it came time for the playoffs, Jimmy did what Jimmy needed to do, and that was put his team on the back and propel them into the NBA Finals. And as we go into this finals as everyone is already picking Denver to win, here's another tall task for the Miami Heat. And hats off to Eric Spoelstra. We have to finally say this guy is just not an understudy of Pat Riley, but he is a good coach. So my hat goes off to Eric Spoelstra, to Pat Riley, and the entire Miami Heat organization. I mean, like Terry alluded to earlier, they are definitely a class act organization, and we need to put them up there with some of the best organizations in the NBA. And so I think this is going to be one hell of a series. I don't think it's going to go the way everyone thinks it's going to go. Some people are already saying they don't have a chance against Denver, and it might be a sweep like they swept my Lakers. I'll get to that a little bit later. But I think the Miami Heat is going to bring the noise, and they're going to bring it real loud and clear with a lot of unheralded players that a lot of people don't know about, from players from the G League, players that no one expected to be on NBA rosters. They were down a man with some of their other main starters. I think Hero was out for a little while, and to see Kyle Lowry playing some tough minutes down the stretch here is another thing. So big ups to the Miami Heat. I think they have a great chance to go in and upset the Denver Nuggets.
Brian.
Well, y'all pretty much covered Miami very well, so I'm not going to get too deep into that. But you think of the Heat culture, you think of it from the top down. You go from Riley as a coach, as a GM, and their culture is pretty much cemented on how they're going to play. Their identity is there. It hasn't wavered. It's not going to waver. And he gets the most out of his talents. He's always done that ever since he's been in Miami, and what he did in New York with the players that he had. So not going to get into that too much. Eric Spoelstra is definitely a great coach. I thought it showed in this series between the two coaches of the way they mix their game plan up. They mixed in a little bit of zone with the man-to-man defense, and it seemed, I don't know why it seemed to shock Boston when they was doing it all series. And in game 7, and it was like they never seen a zone before. Like they never played college basketball, and they never seen zone. They didn't know how to attack it. They didn't know what to do. And testament to the, you got to give the Heat culture that props. But I just want to look at this, and just as a GM point, just some of the players, Miami Heat salary. Khalid Martin is making $6 million. That's chump change right now. Max Strauss is making 1.8. There was one other, Gabe Vincent, 1.8. These are players who played big factors in this series and throughout this playoff. And these guys' salaries it's like, wow, if you look at it. So kudos to Miami. I'm gonna make my prediction when we go into the next segment, but kudos for them getting past them.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to be brutal, and I don't want to be cold, but I would fire the coach from the Celtics. I think the job is way over his head. You're jacking up threes. You're jacking up threes on top of threes on top of threes, and you have the length over the Miami Heat. You're a taller team than the Miami Heat. You don't need to jack up all those threes. You should have been able to wear the Miami Heat down by a low physical game. And you decided to live by the three, and you died by the three.
Yes, they did.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Shaquille O'Neal said something best at the end of the game. He said, if I was on that team and we didn't hit a 3-point shot, he said, I would have told him the next one that throws up a three, I'm going to punch you right in the face.
Oh, wow.
Ernie looked at him like, Shaquille, Shaquille just cut him right off and said, I stand by it. If you miss 10 three-point shots in a row, I'm going to punch you right in the face the next one that takes it.
Yeah. And that's okay.
The violence part, okay, that's Shaquille O'Neal talking. But the coach should have said, stop with the 3-point shot. Guys, we're athletic like them. We're longer than them. They can't deal with you in the paint. And as a coach, you got to instill the confidence in your guys to say, well, what are we doing? We got more talent than Miami. Let's take this to the rim. Put it in the paint on them.
Well, Aaron, can I ask you something? When Tatum hurt his ankle and twisted his ankle, did that take the cell out of the Boston Celtics? I think that did something psychologically. Okay, when Tatum twisted his ankle, their hero was down for the count. They had no way, and who was going to take up that slack was supposed to be Jaylen Brown, who did not answer the bell. Yeah. Let's start right there for a second. Jaylen Brown did not answer the bell. And hold on. And Brian, you just talked about some contracts. He's due for a contract extension in the $200 million range.
Well, what I will say is that Brown did carry him a little bit during the series. Maybe not in that game.
I'm talking about Game 7.
Game 7. So I'm just saying.
Specifically, when my other one, because you want to be the guy, all right? We'll say Tatum is number 1 and he's 1A. If we want to say that for argument's sake, but you did not, Jaylen Brown, take the team on your back when your number 1 guy went down with a sprained ankle. You knew he was wounded. You would say, come on, get on my back. I'm going to carry us to the promised land. You were in your home building, Boston Celtics. Okay, you had just won a wonderful game, a miracle game there in Miami the other night with a Derek White tip back. All right. Yeah. You were going home in your place, in your building in Game 7 with the Garden Mystique and the Leprechauns.
But you know what, Ito?
Okay.
Boston didn't really. Yeah, they didn't really play good at home through the series anyway. The whole entire series.
Boston should have had that over within 6.
And I'm going to say they need to get. They don't have an identity of what they are. Yeah. When Udoka was there, you knew they was a defensive team that could score. They got no identity. They was jacking up threes. They had no concept of how to attack the zone. Nobody was in the middle of the paint.
They were like 10 for 44 or something like that. Something crazy. I can't even remember.
And the coach in the press conference talking about, we missed a lot of threes, but this is our team. We shoot 3-pointers. And I'm saying to myself, and I would send him right out the door. The limo would have been waiting for him. That was the dumbest thing to say.
But I'm not saying this right, but this is the new NBA. This is the generation of players that are in the NBA now. The 3-point shot right now is as good as a slam dunk.
But
I agree with you, Gore, not to cut you off, but I agree with you. If they would have took advantage of their size, it wouldn't even have went 7 games.
Mhm.
And what I'll say is this: I definitely saw a big improvement in Tatum. He got in the weight room. He didn't throughout the regular season until this series. I feel like he never settled for a jumper. He took the ball to the rim strong. You could see he worked on his game even more. But he's only what? Is he 24 yet?
I think he's
I mean,
24
they're
and
still
Jalen Brown's
young.
25.
Yeah, they're still young. And I'll cut the coach some slack this year. This is his first year coaching. That's a big role to step into, coming off of finals. I know he was an assistant coach, but I'm gonna give him some slack this year. But I do agree with you. He needs to they need to change their identity, like Brian said, and you can't settle for threes, not with the amount of length you have on that floor. And that's just on the offensive side. Defensively, being that long, you got to play defense. That's your identity first, and then the buckets will come after.
Yep.
Terry, I have a question for you, Terry. How long will we continue to say they're young? How long will we keep saying they're young? These opportunities to get to a Game 7 in an Eastern Conference Finals, they don't come. They're not guaranteed every year. Somebody's, as we see, one twisted ankle injury away from not making the NBA Finals. So we don't know what's going to happen next year.
Well, I'm going to say young, or Emerson. I'm going to say young. Jordan didn't win his first one until he was what? He wasn't 25.
Yeah, it was the 6th year or something like that.
So he was probably what? 27? 27? Yeah, 28.
I think the point, Brian, I'm trying to make is we have to take advantage of the opportunities that present themselves.
I get you. Yep.
When we get in this position, because guess what? Everyone that you beat this year to get to where you are, they're coming next year.
They're going to be better.
Whoa. The house is on fire.
Okay.
And I'm here to just let it burn. What you just said right there about Tatum, how come you don't say that about LeBron?
Hold on. Let's get to the Western Conference. When you get over there, I will answer that gladly. I will gladly answer that. But we're talking about the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat right now. And so that's why I'm staying there.
But this kid here is 25 years old.
Once you switch the table, I'll gladly go over there.
No, I just said this kid Tatum. He's 25 years old.
He's 25?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
he can't be 25. Because Brown's not 26.
He started when he was like 19 or so.
Yeah, he came out.
You got to remember him and Ball. I was still upset that the Magic Johnson wanted Lonzo Ball over Jason Tatum.
Yeah, I think he's 24. I think Brown might be 25. Yeah. Brown was there before him.
But I'll also say this.
No, he is 25.
Oh.
His birthday is March 3rd, 1998. 25 years old.
Okay. Regardless.
So he's just kind of entering for an NBA player his prime.
Yeah.
We must seize the moment.
Prime 25?
We must seize the moment.
Yeah.
It's not
25, 26.
When you're going to get
28 really, but
you're
not guaranteed to get back here again.
No.
We must seize the moment. That's all I'm saying.
But I'll say this. I don't expect Jaylen Brown to be with the Celtics next year. Because I feel like that played a part in some of their indecisiveness. Because to me, I could see it. You come down the court, it's like, oh, no, it's your turn. No, it's your turn. And it was kind of taken away from their aggression, you know, where you making an effort to make sure people get shots.
Jaylen Brown is 26.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
I don't see
I'm still going on the point of we're talking about They're young. My point is you have to seize these moments. We don't know if that same core team will come back together again. So now you're talking about replacing somebody else. Now you're talking about bringing in new chemistry, trying to fit all of that under this umbrella. And we don't know what that may look like next year.
The person that I talked about last year, and I'll say it again this year, is Smart. Smart has not developed his game enough for me. He's a good defensive player. I don't like his antics. And somebody should have pulled him over and said, look, you've got to develop your game more. You're a good defensive player, but your immaturity at times on the court hurts the team. Smart is not a leader on that court.
Do we say that about Rodman with his antics?
I don't. I think I disagree with you on that too, Aaron. I think I disagree.
I agree with the antics sometimes.
Here's the problem.
Maybe Smart is playing his role.
Here's the problem with if you say Smart to Rodman, who was the winner?
Rodman was a rebounding champion, Hall of Famer. I mean,
but Smart at times. Smart has the tools. Rodman was a great, like you said, Rodman was a great rebounder, but Smart has the tools to shoot a 3-point shot. He's got to develop more. If you have Tatum and you've got Brown, you need another guy that's going to step in when those guys, okay, you're off your game. I'm going to be the man. I'm going to step up.
What was you going to say, T? I was going to let Terry just say something.
I agree. I agree with you, Aaron, about the antics. Sometimes it's too much, and it takes away from the momentum of the team. But he's a great player, man. And to be honest with you, you could call him. He's the glue to that team. You could call him the Draymond Green because he will, step up and speak out and say, hey, you guys are jacking up too many shots. The ball needs to move. He's done it in the past. I think he did it last year. And maybe some point this year too. But as far as him, I'll say this, he's not the player. He doesn't have that game where it's like, okay, I'm going to take the ball and distribute it. It's Tatum's team. And he knows that. Like Emerson's said, he's playing a role.
Thank you.
But Marcus Smart's a great player. I'm not taking anything away from his game. He fits the team good. I just think that the combination of Tatum and Brown, right now it just doesn't work. You could kind of compare it to when LeBron got to Miami with Wade. You could see they were kind of like, no, it's your turn. You go. Someone needs to be the one. It's not 1A, 1B, is 1 and then 2. And if they can figure that out, they'll be all right. But until then, they're not.
And
go ahead, Brian.
Well, I was just gonna say, as the Marcus Smart, his game has evolved, Aaron, because you got to think of it. He's not a true point guard. He never was a true point guard. Even coming out of college, he wasn't. He transitioned over because they don't have a true point guard. They picked up Brogdon now, which was better. But he's the only one that has the defensive identity that comes in every night. That's like, I'm going to get up in your face. So without him, they are just a glorified, talented team that don't want to play any defense.
Thank you, Brian. You took the words out of my mouth. And I just want to add this. Every team has a guy that plays his role. Okay? Let's come here, Patrick Beverly. Play your role. Come here, Dennis Rodman. Play your role. Come here, Anthony Mason from the old days. Play your role. Come here, I can go on. Xavier McDaniel. Play your role. There's always that guy that plays his role. He's not going to hit another ceiling of development of his game, being an ISO player or the great three-point shooter. he has developed himself into the role that he's playing that fits this team. Draymond Green, play your role. These are guys who are cornerstones to the team, and they play their role that's going to be effective for the team. You need to get on the nerves of the other player's best player, other team's best player.
Here's
That's
the problem.
who you are. That's what you do.
I get what you're saying, but here's what happens at times. When you're talking to somebody and saying, okay, you need to stop and do this. And then a player look at him and go, and look at him. They may not say anything and say, but their mind is saying, you need to stop your antics. You need to grow up. Don't come tell me what to do. And you're acting, and you just turn the ball over acting stupid. Or you just got a foul with your antics. So
Again,
I
his
get
job is to get on the nerves of the other team.
there's a difference.
There's
There's a difference on getting on somebody's nerves. But when your antics go beyond what you're supposed to be doing,
that's a part of it.
Yeah. And T, you see White's comment?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell him what he said.
Give a shout out to Y, who's in the chat. But he said they need a shooter, and they to make it work, and then better coaching.
bingo.
I agree with
Daily
him.
double.
Yeah, I agree with him.
I totally agree with him.
But they picked up Brogdon.
He's not a pure shooter, though. He's not a pure shooter.
No, he's not.
But wait a minute. He's an outside threat. They got Al Horford, who's an outside big. I mean, that was supposed to space the floor. Everything was in place.
Let me ask you guys a quick question then. Before the beginning of the season, before All-Star break, or all the way going up to All-Star break, everybody I think here would say Boston looked like they was ready to win a championship.
Yeah.
And then after the All-Star break, I don't know what happened. Everybody thought maybe they were tired, just ready for the playoffs, and they would turn it back on. Correct? So I don't know what happened within that time span, if the coach lost the team or they lost their identity. But in the first half of the season, they looked like they were ready to win a championship.
They lost the NBA championship to the Golden State Warriors. They came out hungry. Now you're winning. Now you take your foot off the gas. Now you're like, okay, we're getting ready to dial it back up. And you know what happens? Other teams go, we're going to dial it up because we know we got to get through you to get to the NBA championship.
Absolutely.
And if you can't turn it on, you're cooked. And that young coach was not ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And I think what happened was, like Brian said, they might have fell into some bad habits, or teams started exposing them, and the coach wasn't ready to adjust. And Ime Udoka, who's not there now, what are players going to do? They're going to fall back into what they know best. I'm going to chuck this three up. Y also says that if you look at every championship team, they always have a shooter on that team. And he said Jaylen Brown's ready to get out of there. I agree with him on that.
Okay, absolutely. I mean, I think that's a good point. And we're probably going to see some significant changes to that organization. But just to go back to something Aaron just said about that coach wasn't ready, but nobody said that he wasn't ready when he won those other series to get to where they were, in this past series right here. We weren't saying that then. When he was winning those big time series to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, I mean, okay, we weren't saying he wasn't that coach then, were we? We were saying he was doing a hell of a job.
Did he get out coached in playing Miami?
No, for sure.
Yes, he did.
For sure.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
But prior to that,
but here's the problem.
Nail him in the coffin then.
You remember what Ric Flair would say? To be the man, you got to beat the man.
And think about it. They lost their first game.
And they
in the playoffs, right? At home.
They lost their first two.
Atlanta?
Yeah.
Was it Atlanta?
I think Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Lost the first game at home.
Yeah.
That just kind of tell you.
I'm sorry.
Where
When I
their
say
mind
the
was.
first two, I'm talking about when they played Miami.
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking about first round of the playoffs.
First round of the playoffs. Yes, Brian.
Yeah.
Yes.
And while we're gonna ask you your predictions, I already got a good idea who you're gonna predict, but we're gonna ask you.
Yeah.
Guys, Denver. I'm going to give this time to the Denver Nuggets. Do you think the Denver Nuggets have what it takes to beat the Miami Heat? And another part to the question is, do you think Joker should be MVP?
Do we think he will be MVP?
Do you think they should give him MVP?
No.
The MVP is already given out. So you're talking about the playoffs MVP?
Well, I can answer the question.
Finals MVP.
For the finals MVP.
There you go.
Okay.
Go ahead, Terry.
I'll say this on paper. Denver is the more talented team, but you still got to play the game, which we've seen. Boston on paper is a more talented team, but Miami came, they played, they put their hard hat on, and they won. I don't think Miami defensively can answer every option that Denver has on offense. To me, even though they got swept, the Lakers played Denver the best they could. It's just they played 22 seconds of defense with 2 seconds on the shot clock. Joker's falling away, hitting the three. Jamal Murray heating up. Aaron Gordon hitting shots. KCP's hitting shots. So if they can carry that momentum into the finals, which Miami might be able to steal game one because they've been off since, 9 days already? Today might make 10. But I don't know if Miami has the answer. Looking at your MVP question, I said it earlier in the year. I'm just going to reiterate. I know Joel Embiid has the MVP for the league. Joker should have got that. And
agreed.
I believe Joker will win the MVP of the finals if Denver is able to pull it off. So he's just that good, man. I don't want to say defensively. I know he's not top 10 in the league, top 10 in the league defensively, but offensively, man, he makes that team run, and he's just talented. He's like trying to think, what's that player for Portland? Back when Pippen.
Sabonis?
He's like Arvydas Sabonis.
Yeah.
On steroids. He can pass, he can shoot, he can dribble. Yeah. The offense, right? He's like a 5-tool basketball player, man. It's crazy.
Point center.
Yeah.
I just had a moment of a flashback, and I'm going to save it. Emerson.
Yes. Okay. Let's talk about the Denver Nuggets. First of all, I want to give them another shout out because they beat my Lakers. They swept my Lakers, who I thought really had a chance to give them a good
music, anything.
They were a team that put on a display of some good, solid basketball. When we speak of the Joker, he is everything Terry and Brian has said. I mean, the double doubles, the triple doubles. He's unstoppable. He's unguardable. Whatever you try to do to him, whatever you try to do to frustrate him, I thought we had the Lakers. I'm speaking of had some length that we could throw at him. We had Anthony Davis. We had Rui. We were putting on him. We were throwing different defensive strategies at him. We were known as one of the best defensive teams throughout the league this year. I'm talking about the Los Angeles Lakers, my Los Angeles Lakers. And we had no answer for Denver. Whenever we tried to answer the call, they came right back and they punched us in the mouth again. Big up to the coach there alone. Oh man, yeah, man. Big up to Coach Malone. Listen, he has them. He had them, and he had them ready to play with the willingness and the grittiness that it takes to win in the NBA today in the playoffs. And I know they wanted to get back at the Lakers because we bumped them out in back in 2020 in the bubble. And I know they were excited about doing what they needed to do to win. And they're saying not this time. And I don't think a lot of people pay attention to them because they're out west. They're in a small market. But I'm telling you right now, the Denver Nuggets are here to stay. And they have a good, solid nucleus of players that's going to be here for years to come. So watch out, NBA. They're putting everybody on notice that we're here and we're not going nowhere. So if you want my pick right now, I'm taking the Denver Nuggets in 6 over the Miami Heat.
Yep, might as well take them. They beat the Lakers.
Hey, man, I'm going to keep it out west.
Well, first I want to give Miami credit for getting there as an 8 seed. I don't know if that's been done. Last time I remember the Knicks were an 8 seed, but that was a shortened season. So I want to give Miami credit for just getting there. But the things that Miami did to get there, just saying defensively, I think plays well, even better for Denver, because you have the best way, if they're even thinking about playing zone, best way to attack that is to have some man in the middle right at the top of the key, right at the foul line. Who else would be better to be there than the Joker? Hitting, cutting, slashing, hitting the jumpers. That's his wheelhouse right there. So he's a triple threat, just getting the ball in that position. And then now if you go man to man, you talking about who you going to put on him. Bam is too small. Anybody else they got off the bench is too small. And I see Denver being able to beat Miami. I think once again, I'm going to say they got a better roster, but Miami has shown that they can beat people with better rosters. But I think the coach for this team will be more better than the coach that Boston had, and he'll trigger the right buttons and figure out the right solutions. And Miami, I think, goes down. I'm going to say they're going to go down in 4 games. So they'll probably go 5. So not a sweep. I'm sorry. But
So you saying sweep?
No, not a sweep. Miami will win 1.
I said 4 games.
But they're getting, well, that was my fault. I think Miami will get 1. So it'll be 5.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a quick question for you, Gogor. Do you think the NBA needs this finals right here, given the teams that are in the finals this year, to kind of go 6? Maybe 7 would probably be good for the NBA, really good. But you think they needed to go at least 6 games? Ratings?
I think the NBA is going to be like this. Let's get it over with. Because they don't have the star power that they want. Even though we know in basketball that Denver is a good basketball team, Denver is not the Lakers. Denver is not the Golden State Warriors. So, I mean, when you take a look at, let's say, for instance, the Golden State Warriors, Seth Curry is an entertainer. When he's jacking up those threes, the announcer who's doing the game, they bring it to life. Denver, you see Denver on TNT during the season, but we didn't, let's be real. Everybody wanted Golden State back because Golden State is an entertaining team. People wanted the Lakers back. Why? Because you got LeBron. What can he do? Can he get that NBA championship? So it's like basically, Denver's a better team, but the balloon has been popped. Let's get it over with. So for me, I see it over in 5.
Who here thinks Joker averaged a triple-double in this series?
Absolutely. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I see that easily.
I believe.
And I'm wondering, would that be a record for averaging a triple double in the NBA Finals?
For a center, I would
No,
say
for any player.
Any player. Yeah.
In the NBA Finals?
Yeah, in the NBA Finals.
I want to say Magic came close. I want to say Magic came close against Philadelphia.
Magic came close, but we're talking about average. That was the game Magic played center.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he said average.
No, average.
We're talking about every game, not just one game.
No.
No?
No.
You don't think he can do it? No.
Didn't he?
What's your no?
Did he average triple double in that last series?
He's a machine, a well-oiled machine.
I think
I see him. I see him with
you
a
better
lot
look
of
at
assists and rebounds, but I see Murray lighting it up.
Well, he doesn't have to light it up to average a triple double.
We're talking about Joker triple double, Joker.
Scoring, rebounding, and assist. I say no.
I beg to differ. I think he will.
So everything he's done this year in the playoffs throughout the year,
I think he's going to get a lot of assists and rebounds. I think he's going to share the ball and say, "Okay, guys," because Miami's going to have to trap him. Yeah. Miami's going to bring everybody down to just beat him up. And so when he does that,
has tried that.
Yeah, but that's the only thing Miami can do. Miami doesn't have a big man to stand with him.
And he still gets 20, 15.
I'm just saying it's going to be so easy for him to just say, you know what? I don't have to shoot the ball tonight. Just pass the ball.
On an off night, Joker is 25, 12, and 11.
So
that's
an
off night.
So what I'm saying, Aaron, you saying he can't average over 10 points? Because you're saying he's going to get the rebound and assist. So you're saying he's not going to average over 10 points in the series?
He's going to get about 20 points.
No, I'm saying average.
Somebody's going to score more than him.
Well, that's not what we're talking about for a triple-double.
We're just talking about a triple-double.
Yeah.
A triple-double. That's him.
So that's what
11 rebounds, 11 assists. That's triple-double. So we're talking about him having an average in a triple-double throughout this finals. Yes, he will.
I'll tell you what.
He will.
You'll know by game 3.
You know by game 3. You're going to know by game 1.
No. You're saying an average. So if he does 2 games, what I'm saying by this is why I'm saying this is this. Will he get in foul trouble?
On who?
If you're Miami, what are you going to have to do? You're going to have to drive to the basket.
You know what he averages when he gets in foul trouble? About 24 points.
Yeah.
That may cut down on his assists. I know he's going to rebound, but
did you see what he put up on the Lakers in the first game?
He runs the point. Are you kidding me on his assist? He runs the point.
He almost gave you a 20-20-20. A 20-20-15 or something like that. I forgot what he gave.
20 vision.
Are you watching the same game we're watching?
Wow, we got 2 more minutes left in this show, and it just can't end fast enough.
The soloist.
I stand by my point, and it's like, take his arm,
Always going against the grain. Yeah.
Hey, somebody's got to be a rebel on the show. My goodness,
you rebelled out on this one because he's a double, triple-double machine.
And where's LeBron?
LeBron's home. LeBron's home.
Taco Tuesday, I saw him in a commercial.
Yeah, he's getting ready for next year. He'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
I give LeBron credit, man. What ended up happening with his foot? He played on a what? Strained tendon.
Yeah, it was a back. He never told anybody about it.
I don't want to hear that crap.
No,
you're the first one, and I'm pointing at you, Emerson. Next man up. Next man up.
Gotta give him credit though. He gave it everything he had in that first half. Anthony Davis got to carry the rest.
30 points in the first half.
Yeah.
In his 20th season. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
So yeah, somebody else has got to pick
I've
up the
seen a
torch.
wrestling match with Ric Flair, and he get beat up the first
Yeah,
half of the wrestling match, and then all of a sudden he
My
wins.
hat still goes off to LeBron.
Let me ask you guys
Yeah.
one more question.
Yeah.
How many rings do you think LeBron probably would have won if he stayed in Miami?
Wow.
One.
Wow.
What, huh? With Pat
One
Riley
more.
as the GM, you think he would only won one more?
Whatchamacallit was shot. Do you remember?
Who?
He got sick.
No, but
Wade?
you talking about
Oh, Bosh.
Bosh, but
Yeah,
but you saying Riley wouldn't? Yeah, you could have got somebody else, but not
Yeah,
saying that
Bosh.
Bosh wasn't a great player. But you telling me Riley
Yeah.
wouldn't have got some other players around him to help him win the championship?
Bosh, wait a minute. Bosh helped him win the first championship.
But I'm talking
I'm
about
not saying that he didn't. I'm not
No,
saying
but
that.
I'm just going by. You can have a great player, but you need another great player.
Well,
And
name
at
me a
that
great player
time,
on
it was
Miami.
Wade.
Name me a
That
great
was
player
Wade.
today. Miami.
Bosh was a solo guy. He didn't need to. He was like, okay, I'll do the dirty work.
Mm-hmm.
So give me the great player right now.
Someone had to.
Who
On Miami.
now?
Yeah. This team they got right now.
Who's that other great
See
player?
how underrated he is? Jimmy
Yeah.
Butler.
No,
No, I'm not
Underrated.
saying he's not a great player, but I'm saying
you have to say, who's that other great player? You say you got to have two. Who is the other great player?
Okay, let me ask you this. Now
No,
you
no,
just
no.
wait a minute. You just said something. You
Okay.
said name the other great player, right?
On Miami, yes.
Right, but here's the kicker. You just said you don't see Miami winning.
I don't see them winning, and
Okay,
they will
so-
not win.
So
But
then,
you said you have to have two great players. I want you to name that other great player on Miami right now.
they don't
That's what
have
the-
it.
Okay.
but they got to the finals.
So they got to the
Yeah,
but
but
they got to the
I'm
finals.
like this. Getting to the finals, you can get to the restaurant. That's all well and good. Doesn't mean you're going to get there to eat.
Well,
You
So
can be turned around. It says,
so
sorry,
you
no,
don't think it's a
we're
big
sold out.
deal that Miami made it being the 8th seed when there was talk they might not even make the playoffs
Emerson.
to be in the NBA finals?
I'm like this with Miami. Congratulations for Miami winning.
They're playing with house money.
Miami, they're playing with house money, and guess what happens? You stay to the table too long, and the casino takes your money.
Snake eyes.
so I want to say, Aaron, you saying so Miami's been to the finals twice since then, and just saying we just hypothetically we talking. If LeBron would have been on those teams, you don't think he would have won one? Or you think he just would have won one?
Wait a minute. Are we going back to Wade, or are we talking
No,
about
they went there. You forgot they went there in the bubble. Was it the bubble year?
Yeah, the bubble.
They went there in the bubble year. So I'm just hypothetically, if we saying LeBron, Miami's been there twice. If he would have just his career stayed in Miami, you're saying he only would have won once, and they've been there twice without him. So I'm assuming they probably would have been there maybe a couple more times if he would have stayed with Miami.
Yeah.
I don't
He
know.
would have got maybe two more. He would definitely would have won one, but I think he would have got back there.
How many did the Heat win with Wade and Bosh?
And LeBron there?
Yeah.
Two? What? Well, let me see.
They
What's that?
lost
What was the
first
question?
They
season.
beat the Thunder. Was it 3? They beat the Thunder. I know they beat the Spurs. Did they beat the Spurs twice or once?
Oh,
Let me
once.
see.
Once.
Was it only once?
Yep.
So they won 2.
Because the next year they got the second time they played the Spurs, they got ran out. It was over, I think, within 5
why?
or
If he's
4.
still there. The question was, if LeBron would have played his career out in Miami, how
I say
many
one.
championships you think Miami would have
One.
won? You think one?
One.
And they've been there twice without him. That's kind of a hard sell. But yeah, well, it was just a hypothetical. We were just talking. Yeah, because makes you wonder with the Riley, regime and structure. You figure they would have got some other players and talent around them, and Hypothetically.
Riley got LeBron off the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Riley,
And
yeah, and you said it right, Terry, because you remember when Riley brought LeBron in, he put his rings on the table, and he said, "They've been doing you wrong in the NBA. You're more of a Magic Johnson than a Michael Jordan. And you need to enhance your passing ability." He wasn't the attack person like Michael Jordan. His game was more set up like Magic Johnson.
Mm-hmm. And I was just looking at Wise comment. Yeah, Aaron, you don't know him. He's a Heat fan. But he's saying, I'm assuming he's saying they should let Joker score and shut down everybody else. And that's a good point. That's a good way to attack it, because you try to neutralize him getting everybody else involved. I can see that being a factor, but I think Jamal Murray's going to get his regardless. So, but it should be a great series, though.
It should be. Guys.
Yep.
Good show.
All right, we gotta get you on this. We gotta get you on the show, man. Give us some of that.
All in, man.
Yeah, that you know,
Heat Nation.
Heat Nation. We know he like to stay low key. If you win, you can come out. You can just bring it out, man. You know, you got that whip in the garage. You just whip it out, man. And then you just put it back.
Oh, before we leave, it just hit me.
What's up?
I was furious with you at Game 6, little brother.
At Game 6?
Game 6.
What happened?
I'm sitting there watching the game, and then I watched P. Diddy on the sidelines. And he's got a very attractive young lady with him, and he's got fat now, like me. And he's like, oh, man. And he's up there. And I said, man, I wanted to call you up and give you a few names, cuss you out.
What, for not the music?
Because, Terry, there was a beat from Kool and the Gang, Hollywood Swinging, where it goes, ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
And I said, Brian, you got to use that beat. Ain't nobody using that beat. And I'm playing Kool in the Gang. I'm playing Kool in the Gang in my car. And I says, Brian, listen to this. He goes, oh, man, go take your beat and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then here comes P. Diddy doing his little move. And then Brian goes, yeah, you were right. And I said, yeah, that's why I'm not on the beach with two lovely ladies right now. I got to get up and go to work. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, man. You were ahead of your time. Sampling wasn't that heavy then.
And the kicker was, I just got out of high school. I got a job at Pratt & Whitney. I got my first income tax check. $1,000. I'm like, oh, baby, I'm going to live it up. And my brother comes up and says, would you buy me some DJ equipment?
Mm-hmm.
And I took that check and I bought it.
Yeah.
And all I asked him to do was just sample this one song. He told me, get out of here.
He didn't know.
Yeah,
don't worry. The vision.
Yeah, T put it to good use, though. We put it to good use.
We did.
Look at me now. I'm back to being a working man. Yeah. See, tell about the subscribe button before I start crying.
We want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. We appreciate you checking us out. Don't forget, hit that Spotify. We'll be up there. We'll be on the airwaves as well. And please hit that share button. Share this channel with your friends so they can tune in and check out all the latest news and sports going on. And before we get off, Bethany Grace says that she likes your Arnold, but your Dr. Phil is the best, Aaron. So
Oh,
waiting to
so
see
we're
what
gonna
you
have
got
to hear
next
that
week,
one.
man.
I don't think I ever heard that one. Dr. Phil,
Waiting
huh?
waiting for Richard Pryor or something, man. Give me something.
That would be tough. Richard Pryor would be a tough one.
That's
Come on,
the
man. You gotta
challenge
work
I'm
on it,
putting out
man.
there.
You gotta work on it. You gotta coordinate.
Dr. Phil. And the funny thing is, when I do the voice, I can't hear it. But people say they can hear it. Go figure.
That's funny. You could do Dr. Phil and you can't do Richard Pryor. And you're black.
Dr. Phil is Dr. Phil is nasal.
Okay.
Right.
Dr. Phil's voice is nasal. So and I can hear it in my head, but Richard Pryor's voice is a different tone. Nasal is for Phil is very, to me, is kind of easy to do.
All right.
You
expect something next week, man.
Yeah.
Don't let us down.
Yeah.
No.
Or we won't have the show.
With you two guys, I think Dr. being a psychiatrist will come to me very easy dealing with you two. And the other nut that just went off, Emerson.
Yeah, he had technical difficulties.
Yeah, it wasn't no difficult.
Battery ran low. I don't know.
Low. You came on at 30%. Oh, look, good. Ladies and gentlemen, good night.
Good night.
God bless.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Grace.
Bye. Heat Nation.